Next part two, talking with Fallon out there in Houston, Eri in Tokyo, Japan. I'm in New York, host Kenford. So welcome back, guys. Fallon, Eri, thanks for being here. Fallon, um, it's like you said, cheesecake relationships. We've met, we've known each other for a long time, going back many, many years ago. I met your mom a lot of times in and out. She was always there, always behind you. You always introduced me to her, very kind, very sweet woman. She's no longer with us now. Take us through that. How tough was that? How hard has it been for you, especially what you're going through right now? And how much do you miss her on a
Yeah.
daily basis?
Yeah, she was I told you she was the one who wanted me to work at Cheesecake Factory, and I would not have the relationships I do without her saying, "Why don't you go do it?" She always used to say, "I'm always right. You just need to realize that." And she
Yeah.
was right. Like I had to learn that she was, looking out for me, looking out for my best interests. So um, I was so excited when she would come in and, you know, she would come in with my aunt and they would have lunch and like Jim Hartner would put her at the best table and like comp whatever she would and or he would and they just would have so much fun like being and seeing how much I was having fun there. And like yeah, I loved when she would meet the people that I was spending so much time with because you guys are all great. Like she wanted to know not just from a like who are you with on a daily basis, but who are the people that are important to me? And she was so important to me that I wanted the people that I loved and spent time with to know who she was too. And she loved everybody. Like every time Ari was home from Japan or like visiting, she'd be like, "When am I seeing my Ari?" And Ari could be 8 o'clock at night, and Ari would come over, and my mom would be like, "Come in,
Yeah.
and how are you?" And like they would talk, and I would just be there, and like that was just made me so happy that my mom loved my friends and my friends loved my mom because those are the important people in my life. And yeah, she was a fighter for a long time. She around 2009 actually was diagnosed with breast cancer, stage 0. Um, thankfully was able to have surgery to remove it, did not have to go through chemo at the time. Then a couple years after that, I was living in Hoboken, getting ready actually to move to Houston, and they found out that she had a liposarcoma, which is like basically a tumor that was growing in her abdomen area. And the first time around, they were able to take care of it, get it out, have it removed. But then it did grow back like 6 months later, and she spent 3 or 4 years fighting that. Rounds of chemo, different types of chemo, um, doing different types of you know, trial drugs that she was at. She worked at New York Presbyterian at the Children's Hospital, so she went to her doctors there. They had a great cancer center that they were just trying anything and everything. And for the most part, relatively speaking, it was pretty successful that she got the 4 years and we got the 4 years with her. But in the end, it just cancer is a son of a bitch and it'll just take you and, you know, really just diminish your quality of life. But she did get to move to Florida. She was there for about a month before she passed. And, it's been really hard. It's every day is hard, like especially what I'm going through now, wanting to get her advice from it and her tell me that I'm strong and that I can get through this and but be practical about it. But one thing I did learn and take with me from her was, as long as there's a next step, as long as there's a plan, always be optimistic about it. So we are always optimistic when we had a plan, when we had a next step, when there was another trial drug for her to be able to try or another treatment for her to be able to try. And she got to see all 4 of her grandkids born, and they know her and they love her. Um, her youngest grandkid, my niece, is 6, and the other day she said, "I miss Grandma," and they write on their chalkboard in their house like a happy birthday, Grandma, that they miss her and they talk about her. So she lives on. But it's hard. It's hard not having your best friend and the person that loves you unconditionally and who just wanted the best for you not around, especially when you're going through something really hard too. So
Yeah,
it's
for
been
sure.
hard.
I just remember her smile. She's always positive, always in a good mood. Oh, you're Kenford. Nice to meet you. Always jovial, always upbeat.
That's
Just a
because
fan.
she liked you, Ken. She used to say she had a short list, and the short list was of this.
Yeah, for sure.
She had a longer list of people. She was a firecracker, though. Um, I have some really great memories, just from life. But even in as an adult and being able to spend time with her as two adults, really just loving the time that we had together. Of We were at a Yankees game because I took the tickets on from Styles and would take my parents every Friday, and she two stories. We would always bring like the liter bottles of water in with us because we're not
Yeah,
$13
that's
on a
supposed to.
yeah, that's how you do it. You bring your food, you bring your water in, and she was drinking it. And we had they also had season tickets. A group of kids, maybe early 20s, would sit kind of in front of us, and they saw her drinking this water and they would start to go chug, chug, chug. And she looked at them and was like, don't even get me started on the things that she said to them about
Yeah.
F off, don't tell me what to do, and just the face that
Yeah.
she gave. And then she actually did get a couple of older gentlemen kicked out because they were just being obnoxious and she wasn't having it. She's like, I came here to watch this game. I'm
Right.
not having it. She literally went down. I guess I wouldn't call her a Karen because it was always warranted when she copped her attitude and got feisty about it. But she was a tough cookie. She didn't take shit, and she would tell you straight if you were not doing the things that you should be doing. So, but she
Yeah.
had so much love. My husband would always say one of the times after he had moved up to Hoboken with me, we went to see them, and we were in the car on the way home, and he said to me, she gave me the biggest, tightest hug that I've ever had. And I said, that's how you know that she really loved you, is she gave the strongest, tightest, best hugs of the people that she really cared about. And so that was one of
Yeah.
the, I'm like, yeah, this is my human for sure.
If she was alive today, what would you tell her?
Oh, you were right. I should have gone to the doctor sooner, truthfully. Um, I like to think, that there is something beyond, you know, even just for your spirit, and they're watching over. So I think she is seeing what I'm going through, and just taking care of yourself, not letting, work overly consume you, making sure you're making time for other things for yourself. But yeah, I think she knows. I think the outcome that I'm having right now, I think could probably be the worse, but I think she's been looking out for me, telling me when I needed to go do and take care of things that I was taking care of. I always think if I didn't go to the hospital or to the emergency room in Florida and I waited till I got home, how much worse could I have been? Like,
Yeah,
would I be here right now if I didn't go when I did and I waited? So I feel like she's still kind of guiding me every day.
for sure. Yeah. Um, Ari, anything you want to say to Fallon about her mom or anything like that? I mean, you're sure you met her many times over the years.
She's my second mom. I think she called herself mom for myself too. I felt like, yeah, she's so special. I still remember and I still feel her hug. I think, yeah, we used to hang out. Fallon
Yeah.
would be getting ready, straightening her hair, and Lisa and I would be on the couch, hanging out, playing with Chloe as well. And she just, the genuine warmness, and she really wanted to just not just get to know you, but she just she's mom. And so when she passed, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, she's
It's tough.
she's so special. Um, And I know my regret was that my husband couldn't meet her.
Yeah. It's deep.
She approves.
I know.
But I mean, for Ari to literally jump on a plane, and I mean, I remember it like it was a tough day. I remember calling Patrice and just the only words getting out of my mouth was she's gone. And then I think Patrice called you, and I know her, like, being able to tell. I mean, those were the texts that went out. Like, those were the people I told. It was Ari, it was Patrice, it was Laura and Taryn and Erica. It was, the girls that were my family that I've, been there with for everything, and that my mom loved and that they loved her. And so, making sure that they knew what was going on, and for Ari to jump on a plane, no questions asked. It was, I'll be there in 2 days, and there she was. And I just remember her walking into the memorial service, and like, whoever I was talking to, I was like, I gotta go, and like, this happened. And I think we just stood there for like 5 minutes hugging each other, because I mean, to have somebody to fly across the world to be there when you need them the most is just
says a lot.
Special.
Yeah, for sure. I was on social media a couple of days ago, and I'm not on there as much as I used to be on Facebook. I normally post stories on Instagram, but normally sports and stuff related like that. And then I saw we were supposed to do a show a while ago. For those who know, I reached out to Ari months ago, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll come on, but only one condition. My bestie Fallon is gonna be on the show. She's not doing the show, vice versa. They're not doing the show without each other." So I'm like, okay, I gotta figure out how am I gonna get these guys together. One's across the world, one's here, going through a lot. I'm busy. Of like, how are we gonna get the show together? What we're gonna do? How is this gonna come about? So then I saw your post, Fallon. And I was like, I have to do the show. I have to get us on here some way, somehow. It has to be done now, because you just never know. What you're going through right now, Fallon, kidney dialysis, just seeing your status. Oh my God, a couple of days ago. I mean, living with this for 6 months, kidney failure, being on dialysis. You said take care of your bodies, right? You just never know. Just a simple routine, right? And what made you come about with this announcement on social?
Yeah, I mean, same way, like social. I think much less posting. Life is life. There are some things like you get excited about that you want to share with the world, but
yeah,
I think in general, like, I'm not somebody who's gonna just like share everything. That's just not who I am. Like, even with friends, Ari and I used to joke, like, there were things that were going on. We're like, why didn't you tell me? I mean, even when my mom was first diagnosed with the breast cancer, it was kind of like not awkward, but it wasn't my news. But I was like, how do you broach that conversation? And even Patrice was like, I've known you since I was 3 years old. Why didn't you tell me about this? Like, why didn't you tell me what you were going through? And so I kind of always try to keep that in mind, of like things that I think, your people in real life, and not to say like you're not real life friends with, a lot of people, but who are those people that are closest to you, to let them know kind of what's going on in your life. And so it was Thanksgiving last year. I was in Florida. My dad's in Florida. My brother's in Florida. So we have it there. And, there would be like some days like that I just like wasn't feeling right, or like, I feel like, I would have a drink and then just not feel great afterwards. And, this is all hindsight. But at that Thanksgiving, I was in Florida for the week after, and I just wasn't feeling right for like a couple of days leading up to when I went into the hospital. And it was like, is it something that I ate, or like, I'm just not feeling right. And then I started to like have trouble kind of like falling asleep. Like, I would lay down and I'd like start to have a little bit of trouble breathing, but it's like, when I was sitting up, I was okay. I'm like, I don't know. I guess I have a high pain tolerance. I like didn't really think much of it. And then I went to go walk our dogs, and I was having trouble walking like just down the street. And it was like the day my husband and I were supposed to drive back because we have two dogs, one who's big, to Houston. And I was like, you know what, maybe I'll stay like a couple extra days. I'll go like to the urgent care, like see how I feel, and I can fly home. And so Peyton had already started his travel back to Houston, and my dad actually took me to the urgent care. I thought maybe I was dehydrated, like again something that I ate that didn't settle with me well. And then they like took blood, do all the things, and come back in, and they're like, "You need to go to the hospital. You're in kidney failure. You're in heart failure, and like this is serious, and like you could have knocked me over with a feather." I had no idea. I was like, I had like some migraines. I thought it was like looking at the screen too long, or like stress a little bit, but like nothing that was alarming. um Went into the hospital, found out I also had an ovarian tumor that I had to have removed, and they like immediately started me on dialysis and like all these tests about my kidneys, and realized like I truly was like not just like a little bit in kidney failure, but like there's a test, it's called your GFR, and it's basically like it within the ranges it tells you how well your kidneys are functioning, and anything below 15 on this test is kidney failure. And I was at like 8, and they're like, your kidneys are not doing anything. Like they're surprised that I was like upright walking the way that I was. So immediately put me on dialysis, started to run all these kinds of like kidney tests on me, blood tests. They also found out I had walking pneumonia while I was in the hospital in Florida. So I was there for a week. I mean, I was on oxygen. They had to do an emergency catheter placement. So for dialysis, they had to place a catheter in my chest. I have one like here right now, but they had to put it like towards my neck so that they could do dialysis, which is basically taking my blood out of my body, cleaning it, and then putting it back in. And I remember my sister-in-law was with me, thankfully, and they like even putting me flat to put this in, I could barely breathe. And I was having such trouble breathing. And it was such a wild time. Like I was in bad shape. And then after that week, I had to drive. They had to I had fluid in my lungs. They had to drain both my lungs.
Wow.
And so we had to drive back to Houston. Peyton then, drove home. So when our friend Lauren took our dogs and he flew back, we ended up having to drive back because I couldn't fly. Because if for whatever reason, something happened, both my lungs were technically punctured from removing the fluid. So they couldn't put me on an airplane. And I went straight back into the hospital to get dialysis at MD Anderson while they were doing tests on the tumor to see what it was, if it was cancerous or not. Thankfully, it's not. I had it removed in February. And yeah, so now I'm doing dialysis 3 times a week. I go to a center here in Houston, and it's 3.5 hours long. It's, not fun. It's not, again, there's everything's relative. It's not the worst thing. I'm very grateful I can drive myself there. I can walk in myself. There's a lot of people who can't walk in, who can't walk, from a wheelchair to get into the chair. They have to be lifted into the chair, brought in on stretchers from, ambulances or, other shuttles. So, I'm very lucky, and I still have some of my health to be able to do the things that I'm doing, but it takes a lot out of you. And, there's no cure for kidney failure, for kidney disease. I'm officially end stage renal disease. Like the government now has that information from me. And, really the only quote unquote cure is a kidney transplant. So that's kind of where I am. I'm starting the process with Houston Methodist to find hopefully either a living donor or deceased donor in Houston. It's 7 to 9 years wait time. So living donation makes that time go a lot faster, because hemodialysis is very hard on the body. It's hard on the heart. Now, I also have high blood pressure, and so I'm managing that. And it's definitely a 180 from where I was, and it makes you think about, what's really important and how you really truly need to take care of your bodies and listen to even the littlest things that you're like, oh, that's an ache or that's a pain. I'm just getting older. I thought a lot of my like symptoms, again, in hindsight, were perimenopause. They say like you get headaches, you are tired, you have like different sensitivities to things. Like definitely go get that checked out if you're feeling some way that's not how you're normally feeling.
For sure. What are your good days, bad days like um now for you?
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm very fortunate. My bad days are more just exhaustion, and those are more dialysis days. It's I'm what they call first chair. So at 5:45, I'm in the chair getting hooked up, and it's again 3.5 hours. So I don't get out of there until around 9:30, between 9:30 and 10, and it's
Wow.
again it's hard on the body. So it's 3 days a week, hard on the body. I come home and like I try to eat something and then I go to sleep for a couple of hours during the day. So work is also hard. I'm part-time working consulting right now because of that. Um, but I'm very strict on, what I eat, what I do. It's, renal diet is a very strict diet. It's more of like what can you eat is it's chicken, white rice, it's white bread, it's pastas. Um, certain types of fruits, but not all kinds of fruits and not too much of anything. So it's what you can eat and how much of it you can eat. It's watching fluid. I can only have like 32 ounces of fluid in a day because my body's not filtering what I'm putting into my body. So those toxins sit in my body until I go to dialysis. So that's where with
Mm,
hemodialysis, it's every other day, or 3 times a week that the other days that I'm not going, it's just building up in my body. So if I eat things that are high in phosphorus or potassium or sodium, my body retains it. And so I can get swelling, it can affect my heart. It just makes things a lot harder. So I'm very conscious and cautious of things that I can eat and can't eat. Chat GPT has been really great. I like ask for like what's a renal friendly, I made pasta salad the other day and chicken salad, like what can I have? But it's, you know, wheat is hard because it's a little bit more complex. So anything that's like simple carbohydrates, I can digest very easily or more easily. But it's even like anything that sits on a counter and can, liquefy is liquid. Like if I want an ice pop, that's part of my liquid. If I eat
yeah.
watermelon because it's, cucumbers, that's all got water in it, that all counts towards my liquids. So it's very strict in what I can eat. So all those great things in those restaurants that are here become a little bit harder. And
Yeah.
that's where like I can't eat the pizza. Tomatoes is not one that I can really eat regularly. Um,
Wow.
there's like a low sodium marinara sauce that I can have occasionally. Um, yeah, it's a lot of like eggs, English muffins,
Yeah.
and like apples, to be honest with you, that I've been eating. But
Wow.
when I'm not on dialysis and or the days that I don't have dialysis, it feels like a kind of normal day, other than like what am I eating and what am I drinking. But I can go, out. We've been to museums. Like I went to the movies, a couple of weekends ago with two of my girlfriends, and like I can have that popcorn as long as it's not like covered in, salt. So can make sure like the
Yeah,
things I eat or making sure what I'm eating, it's not too much of something.
for sure.
But
Talk about your whole life and world going upside down, right? Just 6 months
yeah.
before that, everything was like great and fine, and you're feeling a little. I mean, what can you tell us today about yourself? What to look for? Any PSAs? Anybody out there? Because this can happen to anybody, right?
Yeah, yeah, and more frequent than not. It's I think right now even on the I'm going to quote this stat wrong, but on the like donation list, people looking for kidneys, it's like 80% of all types of organ donation needs are kidneys. And
Mm,
the good thing about that is you can live with one, so you can have living donors, and that's like it doesn't affect the quality of life for the donor, and it just makes a world of difference for the receiver. Um, Houston Methodist just recently they had a 9-way swap of kidneys, basically 18 people involved in getting
Wow.
donation. If like they didn't have somebody who was a direct match, they knew, like, we're able to be part of the program that says, okay, well, you have somebody who's willing to donate, so we're going to find you somebody who's willing to donate, maybe not a direct match. But yeah, it happens all day, every day. I would say, they talk about the number one cause of kidney disease is high blood pressure. So like, know the signs of high blood pressure. Those migraines weren't migraines. Like, that was my body telling me my blood pressure was high. Because you can't tell unless you're like taking it, like what a normal. It's not like, yes, heart palpitations sometimes, but it's not always that. And that's why, they call it the silent killer. So make sure you're like going to your 6-month doctor check-ins. If something doesn't feel right, don't ignore it. I started, I've been doing with MD Anderson, like some genetics testing. So we did, because of my heart failure too, they were like, you're a relatively young person, like healthy person. Why did this come about? So we did all kinds of testing for my heart. Thankfully, that heart failure kind of reversed. It looked like it was just the extra stress on my body or on my heart from the kidneys and from that walking pneumonia. But, I'm doing a bunch of genetic testing on, any cardiac issues, and they're thankfully that all came back negative. So I'm not genetically disposed to it. And then I'm also doing, any kind of genetic for cancer testing too. So now I'm kind of, I think, on this, it is better to know. I think I was living in if I kind of ignore it, maybe it'll go away. Like, I would rather not know, but I think this was a very real moment of, no, you need to know. And if you want to still be around, like, we're not 20, we're not invincible. Like, it can happen. It does happen more than you think it does. So take care of your body. Don't let work stress you out. There are other things in life than making sure that deadlines are being met or the job is getting done. So you have to be able to balance that out. I was not good at that before, and I'm definitely better at it now.
So is it Houston Methodist Living Donor.org, right?
Yes. So if anybody is interested in learning more, it doesn't commit you to being a donor. You can go through the entire process and then say, you know what, this isn't right for me. Like, literally up until the day of surgery, if you choose to get that far.
Wow.
It's, if you want to learn more, if you want to just be screened to see if you're, a potential match, or if you're just interested in donating, I will say I got, a lab back that shows that I basically am a 1% match to the donor population, which is not great. It means 1 out of 100 people who donate, I could match to. That's before any other like screening for their health and, what their lifestyle is like. So it's a little bit harder for me, I think, in general, to be able to find a match, which is also why I chose to put that social post out, because I need my friends, my family, my community's help in finding a donor. And it doesn't necessarily need to be, somebody donates. Maybe they share my story. Maybe they know somebody who says, oh, I've always been interested in maybe donating. Maybe this is my time. It's been, and it's completely confidential. Like, I don't know who has not. I've, talked to my brother. He said some of his friends, people that I've known since I was little too, have, done the screening to see if they were a possible, match to move forward. So it's been really nice. It's a really nice feeling that there is a community of people out there who maybe I haven't talked to in years, decades, 15 years, but are still willing to help. It's also a good reminder that there are still good people in the world and kind people, and that, people are loved, even if you don't necessarily speak to them every day or as occasionally as you would like to, that, people matter, and friendships and relationships that you've made throughout your life do still matter, and people still do think about you. So it's been nice.
Sure.
But
so how many kidneys do you need right now? You need 1? You need 2?
Yeah, you only get 1. So
you only get 1. Okay.
You only get 1. So that's where, like, everybody's got 2 kidneys. You can survive with 1. Donors go through extensive testing to make sure that the donors are taken care of as well, that they're, in the health they need to be to have the surgery. It's, they don't need to take any kind of medications afterwards. They usually have great, long lives afterwards, pretty healthy lives. I think also that's like they've done all this testing, so they know what's going on. So then they also do take care of themselves. They're probably just predisposed to like eating healthier and exercising and things. I mean, not that you have to do all those things, but yeah, one kidney. And then I like to say, because I've taken a couple of education classes about this now, of you get one kidney, they don't remove your other kidneys. So like once I get a kidney, I'll essentially have three. I call the other two decorative because they're not functioning anymore. So they're just there to like be in my body. But yeah, and I will say, from somebody who, if you choose to donate, if God forbid anything ever happens to that donor, they are put to the top of the national list for receiving a kidney because they've already done their part. So they are definitely taken care of in if they ever need a kidney. Like Houston Methodist, in that my last education class, they said that there was somebody who had donated previously who like got into a car accident and then needed a kidney, and then not even a day, I don't even think it was like hours from the time they got like brought to the hospital and found out that they needed one, they already had a kidney ready for them to be transplanted.
Wow.
So it's not like what happens to you as a donor once you've given your second kidney to somebody. It's you are also taken care of.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even know where to go from here. Ari, you want to say anything to Fallon at the moment? I mean, you found out. What were your initial reactions when you found out what Fallon was going through a couple months ago?
I mean, shock. Well, Patrice, our good old sister here, reached out and she was like, "I don't want to freak you out." I was like, "Oh no." And she broke the news, but no, Patrice is wonderful at keeping me updated because I know Fallon was in the hospital, couldn't really speak at all. No, you just, you don't, it's when you start hearing about that, you just don't know how to, you also feel helpless because you're far away. Even more like I feel helpless being far away from like very small things that happen, and now bigger things around Fallon. And her mother had just passed away. I'm sure still grieving there, and then here you're hit with something else. But Fallon always has the most incredible positive attitude, and she's still the biggest jokester, and she could still have a big laugh. So I'm very positive that things are going to come back, because when you if Fallon put so much good karma out into the world, so it's going to come back to her. And yeah, I guess more spreading of the story, just even hearing this, there was a lot of new information even for myself. So how do I also want to educate myself more around this, but Fallon's a fighter, and she'll, just praying and sending good vibes every single day.
I
Yeah,
told
Fallon.
Ari, so I'm starting to like make a mental list of like things I want to do after I get a kidney, because right now it is very much like I'm a little bit limited in where I can go. Like I need to make sure, for right now at least, for the next 24 days actually, I have to make sure that I can get to a dialysis center if I go somewhere. It's like my in-laws are in Fort Worth. I have to, schedule some time ahead to make sure I can have a chair time so that I can get dialysis in the days that I need to when I'm up there. If I was going to Florida, same thing. At the end of the month, I am getting another catheter placed so that I can do at-home dialysis, which is really great because then I can just plug myself in, I like to say, and it's while I sleep. So it makes my life a little bit more free. But so I've started to make a list of things that I want to do after I get a kidney. And I told Ari one of them is to make it back out to Tokyo to see the house, because my husband's never been to Tokyo. He loves to travel. We went to Paris together a couple of years ago, and I'm like, we gotta get to Japan. Gotta go see Ari. Gotta spend that
Yeah.
time together. So that's when we talk about, next steps and always having a plan. I'm already thinking, what's my plan for when I'm on the other side of this? Because that'll keep getting me through.
Yeah.
Come on down. There's always room for you.
If I could get Patrice on the plane for that long, I would.
Always.
That's a little
Patrice,
bit closer.
come on down.
Yeah. Hey, the Cheesecake fam is pulling for you. I'm pulling for you. Ari's pulling for you. Patrice, we're all pulling for you. Prayers. Hopefully your prayers are answered sooner rather than later, for sure. Because we need more Fallons in the world, man.
Oh,
For sure.
thank
For sure. For sure.
I gotta still be around to see the next, Yankees World Series. So, like,
Totally.
Yeah, there it is.
They're-
Yeah, for sure.
they might be slowly killing me.
For sure, man. Yeah, let's keep positive vibes out there,
Yeah.
man, and I think it's gonna happen for you, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Eri, in Japan, what's your favorite thing about living in Japan?
Oh, top one, there's so much to do here, but I think there's just comfort in how safe the city is, and just how, you could be walking around all hours of the night and it's still relatively very, very, very safe. There's something open 24 hours. It's so easy to get around the city. So just life in Japan, especially Tokyo, is quite nice. Get the best of both worlds, but you can't beat feeling safe. Definitely, you can't beat that.
What's the biggest culture shock when you moved there a couple years ago?
I was lucky that I had come to Japan quite often. I spent some time going to schools here in the summer. I did spend a year after leaving Cheesecake Factory in 2007. That I was here for a year, so wasn't too shocking. I will say, working in advertising, that it was no joke of just the amount of hours that you had to work, and just how much kind of red tape there is everywhere, and how it's process, and just things don't, from a work perspective, flow through quite as simple as you might say. And especially in Japanese, there's a lot of subcontext. So the conversations that are happening on the table, that's not necessarily the actual conversation, or that's not like how things move. And so just navigating just different, global styles of working, and local styles, I think that was the biggest kind of shock. At the same time, I think I've learned, when I was working corporate in the US, it was always about like voices, and having the loudest voice at the table, and always having to kind of like speak over each other. And a lot of times, it's like egos in the conference
Yeah.
room or in the boardroom, and just people speaking. But in Japan, you kind of learn to just listen a lot more, and just kind of read the room. And so I think that there's just like also a beauty in the culture here that maybe is quite helpful as well. But yeah, I mean, every day is quite different. I guess another thing, listening to Fallon's story, I'm so grateful that we have national health insurance here. And so I also went for a surgery quite similar to Fallon's, in terms of the ovary, back 9 years ago. And I was actually on a business trip from San Francisco, and I had just come back. And if I did that surgery in San Francisco, because it was an emergency surgery, I would be bankrupt right now, because I have no insurance in the US. So coming to Japan and only having to pay, I stayed in the hospital for about 2 weeks, and it was an emergency surgery, and I only had to pay maybe 800 US dollars at that point. And so, I mean, I'm so grateful for healthcare. And so, yes, thank you, Fallon. I should go back to the doctor and just get checked out for just anything. So, overall,
Yeah.
culture wise,
We're at that age now, you know, that all the things start to happen.
yeah,
for sure.
Fortunately.
the little aches.
What's the best food you've ever had in Japan, Ari?
You know, of course, everything's very, very fresh here. The meat grades are very high up to standards. I'll say I have had the best Italian food, I think, in Japan as well. There's incredible Italian pizza, not New York pizza. I do miss bagels. I miss pizza. We
Yeah.
don't get a lot of like Tex-Mex food here. I'd say brunch is lacking, I think, in Japan. But other than that, you could find the most incredible food at even such a bargain here. And I think what's incredible about kind of Japanese food is, I mean, every chef here is just the master of their craft, and they take what's best from all over the world and build upon it, and they iterate and they try to make it their own. So, I mean, you'll find incredible food from all over the world here, and so I'm very, very lucky. And I don't have
Sure.
to pay. I don't have to tip on food, which is kind of strange because at the Cheesecake Factory, right, we were living off those tips.
Yeah,
And
that was one of my next questions. Like, why is tipping frowned upon? Is that a culture thing? How long did it take you to get used to not tipping?
well, I guess it's a good thing because employees actually get paid a decent like
Okay.
hourly
Hourly
wage.
wage? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and because that's so expected, there are certain places where if you want to tip a little bit, but no, I mean I got used to it quite quickly. It's easy to it's
Yeah.
easy to forget your roots, I guess. But no, when you try to leave a tip, they're not about it, and so it's so normal here, and it's shocking to me now when I go back to New York and New York food
Yeah.
quality. I'm sorry if it's gone down quite a bit, like New York City specifically. And the prices have been insane. So I see why people are there's the tipping war that I'm seeing on like threads all the time of like why do I have to pay this much tip? But as a former server, you're like, yeah, you should.
It's good.
You should.
Yeah,
You're
for
going out to
sure.
eat. I'm sorry, that's what comes with it.
And that's
Yeah.
somebody's livelihood. It's not like I think people look at tip wrong these days. Like it's that's their salary for the service that they're providing. And like I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with just giving servers a salary to be able to do that job because that's kind of like the expectation. It's almost like if you're there sitting wanting the experience, you expect a great service experience, but then you're like not going to pay for it. But then so like it becomes almost like self-fulfilling where I'm going to give it my all and still get nothing. So like why am I giving it everything that I can give when it really is not actually related to the level of service you've been getting, right? Like I think for a majority of people who come into restaurants, they don't think of it that way of like, did I get a quality service? Like, was my drink refilled in a timely fashion? Or like, was I sitting there thirsty? Was the ketchup brought before my food? I don't think it's a reason to be like, let me give you less on a tip. And if something comes out of the kitchen wrong, that's also not the server's fault.
The server's fault, right?
People don't realize that they like expect, Michelin star quality service at places where like people are just trying to make ends meet. And like this is a job that they're great at or can you do and or choose to do. Like it's not just something they do because they have to, like they choose to. Like I loved serving. I probably couldn't have done it my whole career because I don't think I was that good at it. Like I was good enough to be able to like get the food out on time and like move people around, but
Right.
I'm like an extroverted introvert. I don't like I need to be able to sit and kind of be in a quiet space and recharge in that way. Like I don't always get my energy off of other people. So, but people who do, like, yeah, you can make so much, money, make a career out of it. But I think people look at it and they're like, "Oh, well, I didn't get the service I need, so I'm going to give 10% or I'm going to give whatever. Like you're lucky I'm leaving you anything." And it's like it's not a add-on. Like it's not I'm getting a salary and you're giving me extra stuff. It's this is how I make my living. So I just think people look at it the wrong way.
Agree.
Thanks for
Sure.
coming to my TED
Sure,
on
100%.
tipping. I'm very adamant about it.
It's important.
What's something people get wrong about Japan, Ari? The number one thing people get wrong about Japan.
Oh, there's so much. Oh man. What do people get wrong? I do think people think it's way more advanced than it actually is.
Okay.
Going to vacation in Japan is a very different experience than living here, and I think a lot of mistakes some people make, or very hasty decisions of, oh, I had the most incredible vacation in Japan, I'm just gonna move there because it feels so incredible. But actually, Japanese people, I'll say this, they're nice, they're not kind. Like, I think you're expected to, be very nice to people, but deep down, I don't, it might be because of like introvert or what have you, but like genuine wanting to know about you or care about you, or being kind is very different. So people think, there's a term in Japanese called omotenashi, like, oh, Japanese people will do anything for me. It's like, no, it's like a society expectation, but do they actually really want to do that for you? That's
Want
a
to
separate
do it?
story.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think that there's a lot of surface people, and surface services that happen in Japan. And so if you actually are here long enough, you start to see like what kind of the real personality of some people are. That's not to say there aren't, like, Japan, it's a lovely country. People are absolutely nice, and you'll find very kind people. But I think everyone thinks all Japanese people are going to like go out of their way to do something for you, and that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah. What's the coolest city you've visited in Japan while being there?
Oh, Japan has so many. I was very lucky that during COVID, we had a shutdown for a few weeks, and it was asked that you stay home and not leave too much. But in reality, a lot of us were still traveling quite a bit. And I think our quarantine, like the strict time, was short in Japan, but we had a very long time. I think we had about 2 years where people were not able to come into the country unless you were a Japanese citizen. And so it felt like COVID was
Wow.
long here, but life here was, I was very fortunate that I was in Japan during COVID because I was able to travel. I've explored the islands of Japan are incredible. Okinawa, Ishigaki, Miyakojima, Kyushu area, the southern part of Japan has incredible cities as well, from Kumamoto. Um, Fukuoka's a wonderful city, and there's just so many beautiful places that have like yet to be untapped as well. I mean, even in the U.S., I lived in the U.S. and I wasn't able to travel to most of the locations.
Yeah.
I have never even gone to the Grand Canyon, right? So there's just so many places that are yet to be explored. But in Japan, people always say Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto, but that's where all the tourists are. So find a new city, and let me know if you need any recommendations. I have tons.
Is Japan long term? Is this home for you? You planning moving back to the United States anytime soon?
Never say never, but I will say, I mean,
Okay.
we bought land in Tokyo 4 years ago, and I built a house. So roots are planted here. Do I see myself maybe going back to the US and living for a couple of years? that would be the dream. I think everyone has the dream to be able to live all over the place, 6 months here, 6 months there. I think the
Yeah.
pure reality is my husband also has his company here, so I don't think he's going to be able to do long stints in the US. At the same time, my parents are getting much older, and there's just like real conversations of what happens when your parents get older. My brother's out in California. I'm in Japan. There might be some, tough decisions or tough calls that need to be made in the future. But as of right now, I'm not thinking too deep into that because I don't want to stress myself out over it. But never say never. New York, there's a very soft space in my heart for New York. There are times where I'm like, oh, it'd be fun to like work in New York again. But that might also just be a fever dream that I have, right? Of like, the grass is always greener, and I have so many fond memories there. But the reality is, when you go back there, is it going to be like that again? Perhaps not. So who knows? It would be nice though, but I don't see it in the near future.
Someone visiting Japan for the first time, what would you tell them?
Get a JR Rail Pass. get Rail Pass. Plan accordingly. Make reservations for restaurants. I think people think like you could just get into Michelin star restaurants immediately. I get a lot of asks like through my DMs of like, hey, can you book me this restaurant? I cannot, because I can't even get into them. So if there's a spot that allows me to get in, I'm going before you are. But no, Japan's a beautiful country to explore. So definitely take the time here. But if you're also here, go to Seoul, go to Korea, go to China. There's so many places to see. And again, the yen is tanking right now, which is great for anyone traveling, not great for myself. But just have the best time. Stay here for at least a week. At least a week.
Okay. Is the American dollar accepted over there, or just only yen, specifically only yen?
Only yen, but your dollar exchange rate it gets you very far now in Japan. So I'm struggling trying to find airplane tickets back to the US in those gasoline fees are kind of crazy right now.
Yeah, they're crazy. What's gasoline over there like for a gallon over there in Japan right now, on average?
Oh, we do everything in like liters, so it's like
Okay.
different. And we also have diesel here, so I have a diesel car. It's I don't even know, what are the gas prices in the US?
It's like 5-ish, 5.15, 5, yeah, a gallon on average.
We're not that high.
Okay.
But it's not too far off even from like 4 liters a gallon. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy a few months back, but now it's, I think, settled down a little bit.
What's one thing that Japan does better than any other country, in your opinion?
I'll have to say food and transportation. The train system is incredible. You could explore all of Japan on a train. It's efficient. It's quick. Not as cheap as everyone thinks, but the train is an incredible way to get around, and everything's so coordinated. Everything's on time. Great service as well. So transportation.
Hey, fill in the World Cup. Fill in this question about the World Cup. Japan wins the World Cup if
if there was no Brazil or Netherlands. No, go Japan. Group F, I believe we're in. No, the World Cup should be very fun. I mean, the US team,
you know,
we'll see.
We'll see how that goes.
Either way, I think it's always fun to see. It's always fun to watch football, or soccer, on this. So I'm excited for the World Cup. Should be interesting.
For sure. Fallon, you planning on watching the World Cup at all? I know you love your baseball, so it's summer now. So Maybe a
Yeah,
watch here and there.
Houston is a host city, so the 80,000 people that we're expecting to get is going to be interesting. Um,
Yeah.
no, I think whenever there's an international type of any kind of game, it's exciting. I think that's kind of like the Olympics too, like watching sport for the sake of sport and watching people get excited about their team or their home country. It's just really exciting to watch. So I'm sure we'll put some on. We'll have some other games that are being played in Houston and Dallas and wherever here on in the house. But yeah, it's go Yankees. My my
Yeah.
my
There you
first
go.
love. Like the
I know,
Yankees
Eri.
this year, I mean, I can't say I wouldn't go to a World Cup game because I definitely would, but they're outrageous pricing. But if I had the opportunity to go, for sure. But if I had the opportunity to go and the Yankees were playing here, I'd probably go to the Yankees.
Sure. Eri, I mean, Japan is big into baseball, right? Is the World Cup a big thing out there in Japan right now coming up, Eri?
World Cup will be very big. I think Japan, baseball, yes, it's very popular, but the World Cup is like next level, and there's just so much energy around soccer. The team is looking good as well. Um, People love a reason to get out to the bars and be a little bit rowdy, rowdier than usual because the Japan rowdy is not rowdy. So people love an
Yeah,
excuse to get out and drink, and the weather is going to be incredible. So World Cup should
sure.
be good times here.
Amazing, amazing. Fallon, before I let you go, you guys go, outlook on life. What say you? I mean, and the world we live in now, humanity, message to humanity today.
Yeah. I mean, outlook on life, me personally, I'm very grateful, thankful, lucky, all those terms to be here. We look back at like the first 2 weeks of December, I was in bad shape. So I'm very grateful to be even in the health that I am in, knowing that I still have a lot to go. But every day I feel very healthy, good and happy. And, I have the family that I have. I have the person that I love the most is taking, here with me, talk about in sickness and health. Oof. Um, but I'm able to still do things relatively that I want to be able to do. So, I mean, outlook on where we are as a society right now, I feel like we could have a little bit more kindness towards each other, reminding each other that we're humans. Everybody's going through something that you might not know. Like, even I've talked to Patrice, she's like, looking at you, you wouldn't know. I'm like, yeah, but that's for everybody else in the world. There's a lot of things that are going on that people don't know about and make people, respond to things the way they do or get triggered by things the way
Sure.
they do. So I think, you know, being mindful and having that, grace for other people that, yeah, there are people who are like pretty crappy in the world just in general. But I think when we think about like the people you interact with on a daily basis, they're just regular people trying to, get through it. So just be nice. It gets so much easier to be nice to people and be kind to people. I think Ari, you said it like best. When people are nice, not kind, like just actually be kind. You know, be
Yeah,
genuine and authentic and helping people when you want to and asking the questions of how people are doing and try to see where they're coming from. I think it just makes you a happier and healthier person. And hopefully it rubs off on them. But yeah, I mean, I think in general, the world is tough right now. So keep your friends, keep your family, anybody who you truly love, tell them that you love them, because you're not guaranteed tomorrow. And then when you
yeah,
don't have that tomorrow, you don't want to have the regrets of things you didn't say or didn't do.
yes, well said. What say you, Ari? Outlook on life, crazy world we live in, what's going on in the world now, message to humanity.
Yeah, I mean, outlook on. I mean, I'm very fortunate that um, I have my health. I have just so much love around me as well. I have a good career. I'm financially stable. Like I have a lot of good things going for me. So how do I, put this good faith out in the world, and how do I help more? That's just something that constantly reminded me of just, as a society, I think that, Fallon talked about it quite a bit, and I'd echo the same thing. I think it's just a reminder for us to, connect in real life, just check in with people more often. I'm very guilty of, like, there's just so much happening, like stigma and like just, you know, your phones, you have so many messages, you have so many apps that are sending you things, and feel like I personally just want to do a better job at, like, when someone sends me a message, like responding immediately, because right now it's like I get lost in the messages that I get, and just lost in life, and that you forget to kind of check in, and time goes by so quickly. Like, I can't even believe we're in June right now. I like Fallon's health scare happened in Thanksgiving. It feels like yesterday, and now it's already 7 months. So the fact that, constantly check in with people, get off your phone, just get outside and breathe air, be kind to people, have respect for people, have respect for yourself as well, and maybe like draw boundaries for yourself as well. I love that Fallon was, too many times, we kind of put really important things on the back burner, but for I don't know why, that deadline is not as important as your health or checking in with your family. So those are just things to be mindful of, and get out there and travel the world when you can. See. I'm a big, I think Cheesecake was wonderful because you had so many people coming in through the door, and it was about, how do you provide this person that you know nothing about the best experience that they can have. And
Right.
so and I'm very lucky that I've been able to travel to many places around the world and see different cultures and see how people interact with each other, and pick up the best from there, and hopefully be a better person and myself. And so I think if I could learn to be a better person myself, and we all did, then the world would be a much better place for all of us.
Sure. That was good, guys. That was deep. That was deep. Well said. Well said. Before I go, I'm gonna do this thing called What I Learned Today on the show. I didn't write anything down, but I learned today that Fallon hates white pants. Um, and Ari is never, ever, ever moving back to New York, to America. Japan is home. She's not coming back. She's not coming back.
I
No.
resolved
And
that fact a long time ago.
yeah, you're on the same page, right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of figured that too. What'd you learn today, Fallon? Anything you learned about the show today? What'd you learn today?
I learned that I love talking to you guys. I mean, I think I already knew that, but this is where truly it feels like no time has passed. So I don't know if that's something
Yeah.
that I learned. I just knew, but I wanted to share. I think I learned Italian food in Japan. That was a surprise.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Come on down. Take you to some good spots.
Yeah. Well, when I can eat that again. I told you,
Yeah.
post kidney transplant, I'm coming.
You will. You will.
What about you, Ari? What'd you learn today on today's program?
I learned some stuff in the middle of our break.
Yeah.
So I learned that maybe there should be a bigger reunion of all of us coming together, and, maybe dishing the tea that we were, this is our first time connecting after 15
Many,
plus
many years.
years. So I think we
Yeah.
kept it pretty PG, but I'm sure there's a lot of things that we forgot about. But no, not that I learned something brand new. I mean, Fallon's story, and I'm just glad we were able to get that update, and just gotta go help and learn more and get myself educated about that. But generally speaking, it was nice to go down memory lane. There's just so many things that are like now popping up, and so many people, and it's like, I should reach out to them and make sure that everyone's doing okay right now.
For sure. Hey, I'm so happy I was able to get both of you guys on here today. Ton of fun, insightful conversation. I'm so glad we met many, many years ago, and who knew this was going to happen 15 years later. I'm so thankful for both of you today in my life, and just as human beings.
You too, Ken. You always bring us all together. So
Yeah.
we're grateful for you.
Like I said, let me know. Maybe do this again and maybe a reunion, right? You guys let me know who you guys want on here, and
A
they'll reach
virtual
out.
jammy jam sounds like
Yeah. Oh, the Jammy Jam. I forgot about that word, Jammy
virtual
Jam.
jammy jam.
Man, oh man.
So good.
You're listening to Mic'd Up Moments. Fallon, Ari, out there, Japan, Houston, me here in New York. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Kenford. We'll see you again down the road. We are out.
Bye.